This is me. How did I get here? At what cost? And was the journey worth it? Hello, Forza fans. This is the GTP C series, soon to be known as the PTSD series, and I'm here at Suzuka driving the Nissan R91 CP. I've qualified in 7th, so as the race gets underway, we're looking not to be murdered into the fast first turn. As we get underway then, I'm just trying to keep it clean, and somebody has been tipped round already, so I take it rather conservatively. Don't get collected by Optix number 20 in front of me, and remain in 7th. So lost a few, gained a few there, and we have consolidated our 7th position straight away. I'm hoping as 2 more cars go off on the right to put us up to 5th, that hopefully we will be in for a good fight this race. As the 2 cars come together in front of me, I'm once again tucked up behind Optix number 20, but now it is a fight for the podium, and I'm feeling pretty hopeful. With this being my first race in this car, I'm only up to car level 4 after practice and qualifying. As we come into the bridge, I'm thinking that it will be a good race from here. How wrong I was though. We go round the slow hairpin turn, get a pretty decent exit, and as we approach Spoon at full speed, I don't really realise what I'm in for, and it is of my own making, unfortunately. The bad luck starts here, with the car in front going just wide. He goes super slow into the next corner as a result. I collect him, I try to brake, try to avoid, try to lift off the throttle, but I'm sort of stuck to them, and we both go off. As I rejoin, I hope you like jump scares, because as I'm unghosted, bang, I am hit once again. So it is absolute tragedy, and I am down to 21st by the end of the first lap. As we get going though, we come around the first couple of turns, and it is already time to start making up positions. There's a bit of smoke ahead, and yep, it's Red Eye Dove, who already has a 4.5 second penalty, who falls behind me now in the S's. However though, they get a ton of momentum pretty much from nowhere and just sail around the outside of me. I managed to hold it briefly, but I'm not too confident into the next corner. And as we approach the Degners, I've fallen once again back to 21st position. As we end lap 2, I get a little deep but make the chicane, but Red Eye Dove gets even deeper and I'm back into 20th position. We'll see how we go from here. On lap 3, I take another position there, with the Degners taking another victim. And check this out, as I come up behind Big Naughty Face, who was the driver who rear-ended me as I unghosted on lap 1. They seem pretty good, seem pretty stable, but I just have to brake there to not catch them on the exit. I thought they'd be accelerating. Well, I get a pretty decent run on them as a result of that slowdown. I go one way, then the other, but then they just come across me and ram me into the barrier, which is incredibly weird. I think I'll take that position then as they run wide. But you know what's coming, don't you? Bang. They rear end me into the chicane. I was looking in my mirror and I was kind of caught in 2 minds. So as I rejoin, I decide to take my pit stop as it is about to be lap 5, as a car blocks the entrance to the pit lane as well, but they're ghosted, so that makes absolutely no difference. As we exit, we're still in 18th, with some positions to make up ahead. It doesn't take long to get 17th, with a car off on the right there, and then as we go through the Degners, they just get on the gravel. That's Araces or Arakes 95. I go off track but don't get a penalty for it and get it slowed down for the hairpin. I thought I was going to get rear-ended again, but they just go to the side of me and we're up to 15th because there was another car who'd straight-lined into the barrier there, I think. We're just going to follow this fight around. As we get to Spoon, they do ease off a little bit, but I'm having a pretty bad race and I just understeer way off the circuit, so I just hand that position back and lose another one for good measure. But down at the hairpin the following lap, they have gone off into the gravel like I did. And on lap 7, check this mess out. I'm catching 3 cars. They all come together, get out of shape. Taintless Falcon goes sliding in front of me, and we regain that position. And then as we get down to the hairpin, there's cars all over the place. Araquez once again flies off the track, so we're up to 14th. There's a ghosted car there as we enter Spoon on lap 7. And then on lap 8, there was a car off to the right. And once again, Spoon, as we finish the lap, there's 2 cars who've gone in deep. They must have contacted each other or something. I've no idea if it was deliberate, but we somehow come home after that absolute race of carnage in 10th position at Suzuka. Strangely happy. Let's move on to VIR. I've qualified 12th for this one. Let's keep it clean at the start. And, okay, I've immediately been taken off the circuit. We're going to stay with it. You might wonder why, but this is just such a bizarre first lap. We rejoin, and we haven't really lost that much ground on a lot of people because they're just people bumping into each other left, right and centre. On the left, a car rejoins, and yeah, of course, they get into me, and I'm back on the grass. So in the first 30 seconds of this race, I've spent significantly more time on the grass than on the racetrack. There's more cars off as we come around the next few corners. Look, there's just ghosted cars left, right and centre. So we're already back to 14th. There is some wild driving in front, kicking up the cones, kicking up the signs. There, that's Luke Pickup. Absolutely flying though. I don't have a chance to catch them. I did ease off to just see if they were going to be unpredictable. And as we go into this slow sort of double corner, I'm trying to find my way around, and once again, I've been hit. So we're only 1 minute 18 in, and I'm on the grass for the 3rd time. We get going again, and we are going to stick with this because it is just wild all the way through the first couple of laps. So I'm thinking, well, we're back in 15th, but we did only start 12th. So despite all of this carnage, all of going off the track, I decided to yield there to Nasty Smokey because I'm not really sure what they're going to do, but they actually managed to get it break down quite nicely, so I've just yielded that position down into 16th. And as we come to the very end of the lap, just careful not to go wide, get on the throttle nice and early, and hopefully get a run down to turn 1. It doesn't really happen though, because as I pull out of the slipstream, it just looks like, and I ease off there because the car coming out of the pits seemed quite unpredictable. There's somebody off at turn 1 again. Careful not to rejoin into the side of me as happened on lap 1. And there is some poor connection here going on. So it looks, as the cars ahead get into each other. So I'm somehow up to 11th, no idea how. And I'm just following Nasty Smokey up the hill. Once we get to the top of the hill, I just dip my tyres on the dust and get overtaken. And then here's me at the end of the lap overtaking Nasty Smokey as they do something similar and go wide. On to lap 3 then. Cray 9373 ahead of me is jittering around. Now I've got the poor network notification. I had this last time at VIR, so somehow this track is just not very good for internet connections. No idea what goes on, and I'm just trying to keep it clean. I get collided with there by Nasty Smokey once again, but no harm done. They make it past. It is extremely hard to know when to lift off, how aggressive to be when cars are just jittering about all over the place like this. I'm pretty sure it's not poor network. I think it's just the server that we're in. And then this rundown looks fairly dicey, but Nasty Smokey gets ahead of Cray as I get it break down. And there's some smoke ahead. I get on the power and Luke Pickup unghosts right in front of me. So I slam into the back of them and spin. So I decide to take a pit stop. We enter lap 6 of 10 then. I'm down in 11th after the stop. Hopefully we can pick up a few places after. But amazingly, we are higher than our original place as we go into 10th with a car off there to the left. And as I'm behind Salim 93, they don't get such a great exit, but it was actually because they were trying to pit, as you see in the mirrors there. So I'm actually up to 7th as I pass the pits. And that is how it finishes. So quite remarkable, really, 12th to 7th, but there was so much carnage in that race. I'm just happy to finish there, to be honest with you. I think it could have been better if we don't collide with pretty much everybody. Then to Watkins Glen, where I'm starting 2nd on the grid and get ahead into the first corner, but in typical fashion, the way these races have been going so far, I get a collision and get rammed off the track. And then check this out. As we go up the hill flat out, it's just pinball all over the place. Cars off left, right and centre, spinning, throwing up dust and smoke everywhere. And we are back into 5th. As we approach the bus stop, I think better of the move there. Just brake a little earlier and tuck in behind some dude. We're going to stay with the first couple of laps here. I'm going to explain that I have gone for hard tyres here. Now, a few weeks ago, I did a hard tyre strategy here with 0 pit stops, where I actually managed to pick up a 3rd place, I think it was a 2nd or a 3rd place from quite a low starting position, just because I knew that the tyres could last. So I've gone for a similar strategy here, as in practice and qualifying, the soft tyres lasted about 4 laps and the mediums lasted about 5 or 6 laps. So I thought, well, with a 9-lap race, surely I can make these last. Well, I was getting a little bit deep here and there, but I was being collided with all over the shop. I braked a bit early there so that Token managed to get it all wrong on their own, and I took the position back. So I'm in 5th, but the hards don't have as good grip as the mediums and softs, so I'm kind of happy that despite a couple of collisions we can probably flourish from this position, and we enter lap 2, which we're also going to watch in its entirety. I get it break down for turn 1. I've got Gutter, Snipe, 01 right behind me, and they get up alongside me up the hill. You can just see the front of their car there. I make sure to tuck it in on the apex, but get collided with, and then they bounce off the barrier and slam me into the barrier, taking 5th position off me not so cleanly. I don't think it was particularly deliberate, but it wasn't particularly careful either. Bit of a racing incident where I came off worse, I think. As we go into the bus stop, we don't get rammed from Token behind, who was very considerate and just tucked in nicely behind us. And then it becomes apparent that, well, there's a car off to the left there, so we've retaken 5th, but we seem to be closing on the cars in front. Look, we've got 3 cars really close in front of us now. Hotchi, who was on pole position, is in 1st as it stands. Oh, no, they're not anymore. So we're up to 4th. Hotchi made a mistake, and as the only driver faster than us, I'm hoping to capitalise on this. The tyres are not wearing too much by the looks of things either, and we're nearly at the end of lap 2. So I'm really hoping this hard tyre strategy is going to pay off as everybody starts bunching up now. This battle for the lead is quite tense. I get caught out there by Gonzalo going slow and sort of miss my braking point and have to yield the position back, but this is definitely looking good for us. Hopefully the cars in front are on mediums or softs and we'll have to pit, and we will come off better, hopefully. Some dude gets it wrong and out of shape as we go up the hill on lap 4, so we are now up into a podium position. Gutter Sniper, who came into contact with us earlier, has a 4-second penalty. So as we end lap 4, Gonzalo goes for a defensive position right away, and as we break down into turn 1, I have to take the corner wide because I can just see the arrow but can't see the car. I stay out wide. There is a collision there, so they must have just run slightly wide into us, but no harm done really. And as we come up the hill, we come into contact once again, and they fall behind us, but I really don't see what else I could have done there. I didn't run wide on the apex or anything, so just important now to get it break down into the bus stop, ride those curbs, and yep, we have held 2nd position. So we are now 3.5 seconds behind Gutter Snipe, and they have a 4-second penalty. Can we catch them, or do they indeed have to make a pit stop? We will see. as I just hold the inside there and don't let Gonzalo back past, and hopefully I can stretch my legs now and get ahead of those guys. We will just follow this round now as I hope to catch Gutter Snipe and pull away from Gonzalo and some dude who are behind, but I'm slightly worried about who else might be on a hard strategy or who might be on a strategy that could perhaps beat us as our tyres are going off at the end of the race. We're just trying to keep it clean round the last couple of corners to start lap 6 of 9. And what's going to happen? Gutter Snipe, look, we see the brake lights there. Gutter Snipe has gone into the pits, so we have inherited first place. We've got Gonzalo 0.6 seconds behind us. Can we hold the lead? Well, it's lap 9 of 9. My front tyres are looking rather rough as I creep around the final corner, but as you can see, I've got about a 12-second lead on Gonzalo now, and nobody was able to catch us. The hard tyre strategy paid off. Fantastic. That's how we got here. Top step of the podium, and it's great to take a win after all of that carnage this week. Thank you so much for watching. Please consider liking the video if you enjoyed it and subscribing to the channel if you want to see more of this in the future. I'll see you soon.